So today we're going to talk about a few little things we've been improving around the shop. Remember my suck pump. Well, I got it hooked up. Basically hooked up to the milling machine now, but this one goes to the lathe. And got a little arm that comes out and set it wherever I want. That worked out good. I had to when the chuck's on here, it creates a lot of air turbulence, which I had to put a little restriction here to increase the velocity so it sucked it up better. Over on the mill here, it doesn't seem to be that critical because I guess the milling cutter doesn't make as much turbulence. So yeah, that worked out real good. I'm happy with that. And let's see, what else can we tell you about it? Last week I did this to my vise. I got sick of screwing around with parallels, and I saw something on Tom Lipton's channel. It looked like his jaws had been cut like this, so I just cut mine like that too. And yeah, it worked out good. I'm real happy with that. Oh, I also made this little handle here out of a wrench. Got a big ball bearing welded on the end of it. I like that. The way this works is pretty obvious. No parallels. And I did it in place, so I trammed up the vise real good, and I did it right on the table there, so everything's nice and flat. I don't know if you guys have seen these double boost lights. This is the way they come, basically. And this one on the lathe works pretty good. But as has been discussed on some of the forums, the machining forums on the internet, when you have them on your milling machine, they get sprayed with oil and they get real floppy. And there was a guy on there, I think his screen name was EV Guru. He came up with the idea of using lock line for to replace the gooseneck, what do you call that thing? The flex thing. And man, what an idea! This thing is just great. So I think I'm going to do it to my other one eventually, but this thing, you can just point it and it just stays. I mean, it vibrates a little. So does any light, but it's the ultimate flex light. So there's another little thing I did. Back over to the lathe here. You may have seen me using my 2-inch indicator and this thing on my tailstock. I had this cheapo caliper laying around. The jaws were all screwed up and it really wasn't that great. So I cut the head off it and made a little ring. It's an aluminum ring, fits right on the snout there, and pressed a dowel pin in there. Drilled a hole in the caliper scale, and I attached it with a neo magnet. I don't want to move it now, but it's stuck on there real good. And as you can see, so I can now dedicate my 2-inch indicator to the bedway. And in order to get this to line up there, I had to make a little extension. Sort of made like a lug back for my, or what do they call that, a post back for my indicator. So now I have a dedicated carriage movement. Who needs DROs, right? Alright, let's see, what else can we show you here? Got a new argon flow meter. I used to have this one. You know, it worked alright. What I basically found out is that I was wasting gas with the other one. This one here, it's got the ball that goes up inside of the column, and it's pretty accurate. So you adjust the flow here. I set it for like 20 cubic feet an hour, which is good. I think I had it, you know, judging by what it was like with the other regulator, it was probably up around 30 cubic feet an hour, which from what I understand is not that great because it creates some turbulence and affects your welds. At the same time, I got that regulator. I also got a really nice kit, TIG torch kit from ArcZone. And the reason I got this was because it had gas lenses in it. And I had heard a lot of good things about gas lenses. I'd never used one before, but I'll tell you, if you never used one, you wanna. They are really nice. I've got one on this stubby torch, and you know, it makes an obvious improvement in your welds. I'm not a professional welder, and I never took a welding class other than, you know, what they teach in high school shop, which was oxyacetylene back then. So you know, I kind of just built stuff and figured out what worked and what didn't work. And you know, I'm really happy I got the gas lens. It's very obvious how nice of a weld you can put down with that, especially in aluminum. Speaking of that, I got a bunch of new alloy. Got some stainless, got some nickel 99. I got aluminum rod here. I got some silicon bronze, ER 4043. There's some stainless. Some silicon bronze. So, yeah, it turns out that if you go to Air Gas, they will sell small quantities of this stuff. You don't got to buy 100 pounds of it because, you know, for example, this nickel 99, I think I paid about 60 bucks a pound for it. So, you know, obviously, you don't want to have to be buying 10 pounds. So, yeah, good tip there. Go to Air Gas. You know, if you talk nice to the guy, they'll even open a box for you. Oh, yes. My machine heater to date has drawn 6.41 kilowatt hours, and that's in 2,280 hours. So doing math in my head, it's around 3 watts average. 3 watt light bulb on continuously. Obviously, you know, it's not on continuously. Like, for example, I think right now, Let's see if I can figure this out here. I forget how to work this thing. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it's off right now. It's not drawing any power except to run the Arduino, which is nothing. You know, most of the time it is off. You know, the thing only really has to run when the machinery is colder than the dew point. And so, you know, it obviously runs a little bit when it gets foggy out and stuff. But, you know, I gotta tell you, 3 watts to keep your machines rust free, you know, it's worth it to me. I was more than happy to power that thing, because I gotta tell you, this lathe, when I got it, it was a rust box, and you know, I took a lot of time, you know, replacing things, fixing things up, cleaning it, you know. Fortunately, the waves were in great shape, so, you know, the only real issue was just scraping the crud off it. But in subsequent years, once I got down to bare metal, it became a horror show, because, you know, I'd come out here after a couple of weeks of wintertime hiatus, and the thing would be growing orange fuzz all over it. And you know, I'd naturally pour oil all over the thing, and you know, the problem with putting oil on, like say a horizontal way, is that water and oil, it sinks. So the water will sink down to the bedway, and the oil will just sit on top of it, and you'll get a nice little rust spot, or not a rust spot, but you know, it'll discolor. So you know, it just requires a lot of maintenance. Come out here every couple of days and, you know, paint it with oil and try to keep it alive. But to be quite honest, I mean, once I installed this system over here, or actually it's up in here. There's the box right there with the power light and no heater lights on. Once I install that, I haven't really seen any rust on either of these machines. And I haven't been, you know, coming out here and oiling them either. Yeah, we also cleaned up the wiring a little bit. We put split loom on most of these wires, so they can't get caught up, you know, back here. So yeah, that's a quick shop update. What's been going on in the Cup of Joe workshop? Oh yeah, one more thing. I got a whiteboard. I was in Staples the other day, and these things were on sale. Can't even remember what they cost, but it was so I think around 16 bucks. So I get to the register and the lady says 12 bucks. And I says, no, something's wrong. It's supposed to be 16. She goes, no, it's on sale. And oh, by the way, I have a 40% coupon for you. So by the time I was done, I think I was out of there for like 6 bucks for this whiteboard. So hopefully we'll have some pretty pictures up there for you pretty soon. I'm going to put my chicken sketches on there rather than on scraps of paper that I end up losing all over the place. So yeah, that's what we've been doing here in the shop. Just no big jobs, just little stuff.